This is Replicant Fish. Welcome back. Glad you could join me again. Does being single for too long make you undateable? The interim of self actualization. Now, what do I mean by all of that? What I've just said. Let's do a hypothetical with this one. In the sense of, if you're single for so long that you end up becoming so comfortable and content, you end up actually improving on yourself by being single, can you then go back to dating as if it's normal? In other words, could you then be a dateable person again after you have found so much of yourself in being single? As in, you've discovered more of yourself, you've found new elements of yourself, you've learnt more about yourself due to being single. Does that then make you difficult to date again because you've found so much more of yourself? I wonder. You see, relationships are about give and take. It's about whom is giving and whom is taking, whether it's equal or not, one doing more than the other. So understand, in being single for so long where you're actually developing yourself, you're trying to reach the point of self-actualization, how much then could you give to another person? As in, if you understand and learn your value in the time you're single, how easy is it then to give yourself away to this person? Do they deserve you at this point in your life? You see, working on yourself, some say it's a lifetime thing. It's not you work on yourself and you're better in a few weeks or something. Certain things take years for one to reach. There are certain things in our lives, let's say, that we have to work through in order to come out the other end feeling somewhat better, more secure, more confident, hopefully, than when you started. So, being on a journey of finding yourself in being single and trying to become self-actualized, I do believe some men, and some women as well, if that's their case, would reach a point where others wouldn't see them as being dateable because they're too much of themselves. Some may see them as, let's say, selfish or arrogant or just monstrous like Replicant Fish. Or some would see that maybe, I have nothing to offer this person. I may want this person, but this person seems so content in their damn selves. What do I have to offer this person? Indeed, good question. You see, if you're on a journey to find yourself and you're on that journey and you are finding yourself, you're learning more about yourself, obviously it would start to show. You would radiate the improvement of self. You would naturally appear more content in yourself. Now if a person, let's say a woman, wants to find a man to manipulate, find a man to simp for her and do so much for her, though she's not worth it, obviously a man like this that's difficult. That's near impossible to land a man such as that. He's too far gone in his journey to be a better man. He's too much of himself to change and bend for you, woman. And you see, in finding yourself, in being a single man who's learning more about himself and life and where he wants to go and who he wants to be in this life. Some men may learn a lot of things and develop and become something better, but they may want to share this with someone else. They may think, what, I've been single for so long. Let me find a woman. Let me find this queen among this rabble, or this damned bloody flock of just terrible women. Let me sift through them. Dig deep through them and find this jewel among the dirt, this diamond amongst the rough of other rough women, this unicorn, this prize amongst the crap. But you see, at that point, I wonder how these men would appear to these women, and if the woman that man's searching for actually even exists. Because what if you get to a point where you learn so much, you understand so much that you think to yourself, well, that person can't possibly exist. My desire to find someone to fit that space may make me manifest a person like this, in other words. Whereas it's just a normal woman that you associated these feelings with. The point amongst my waffling is, in having the time and the peace and solitude to find yourself, when you have that peace of mind and you can think in a tranquil, calm sense and understand yourself more, you may reach a point where you would have to question whether this person deserves you. Because that is a good question. Does that person even deserve me? Some say it's arrogant, it's, my God, you're so arrogant, you're so up yourself. But that is a good question. Does that person deserve you? If you have developed and built yourself up and you have reached another level in your life, ask yourself the question, does that person deserve you? Do they deserve your hard work, what you have worked so hard for in building yourself? Do they deserve you? You see, in this interim of self-actualization where you're trying to find yourself, be it the full thing or an interim, understand you're still building and developing something. You. A better and greater you. Who's to say you will come across much women who are doing the exact same thing? Can you guarantee you're not going to meet someone who is just going with the motion, going with a normal societal thing? Whereas you, in a sense, you go against the grain because you see that there's more. You know that there's more and you want the more. But it's just that for some men, they may think, you know what? I've been single long enough. Let me find a woman to share in this self-actualization. Which that doesn't make sense. You see, self-actualization is about the self. It's about you, where you're taking yourself. Many men have goals. They have a path of which they can travel and they can be successful. The thing is, many men do hinder themselves by thinking they need to divert from the path to find a woman, to find a maiden in the fields and rescue her, and then bring her on the path with you. Men have tried this. Yes, for some men it has worked. For many men, it may not work. What are her intentions? In being in the interim, you have built yourself up to be something more. Who's to say this woman needs to care about who you have built yourself into? And who's to say she has to do better for you because of the work you've done for yourself? She owes you nothing. No woman owes you anything. What's to say she has to even care about your hard work in self? The truth is, she doesn't. She has no need to care at all as to your self-development. Obviously, to some women, they like it. It's endearing for them to see a man who has goals. He's about his mission, his path, whatever. But the point is, and something I say to you as men, never hope for a woman or women to understand your journey and your path. If women don't understand it, good, they're not supposed to. They're women trying to understand a man's journey, one of which they could never understand no matter how much they assume they could. They can have an inkling, an idea, but they have not lived the life of a man. They have not lived the life of certain men to make them realize why they choose to live a single and content life. And why, in being the single and content men, why for the first time many men have actually found themselves. You see, many men on this journey of self-actualization, they're shamed because they're not on the normal journey. They're not on the relationship, oh, gotta get me a woman. Yeah, they're not on the same normal, follow your default setting, procreate, keep the cycle going, create new babies and families for the system of society. If you don't follow the narrative, obviously you're shunned and seen as weird and strange. And the point is, who the hell cares? Who the hell cares? Your journey of self-actualization is about that. Your journey. Where you will end up. You see, we know where we began, where we came from, where we started. But my God, it is good to look ahead, to see where one could actually go. To see what one could actually be, whom you could become. Indeed. In other words, focus, observe, remember. The world is yours. Have a nice day.